is how to use our compass to construct parallel lines. So we're going to skip over the launch activity in this example, or in this lesson, and we're going to jump down to talking about the what a parallel line is and how to use our compass to construct a parallel line. So the first thing that we need to remember is that parallel lines are lines that are in the same plane and do not intersect. Okay, again, parallel lines are lines that are in the same plane and do not intersect. So an example of parallel lines would be this pair of lines on the right hand side, and usually we would have a symbol like that tells us that these two lines are parallel. Okay, so when you look through these notes, what I would like for you to do is just to read through this first investigation, which is about creating parallel lines using patty paper. We're not going to do that. We're going to jump straight to the point where we do use a compass. So when we are using a compass to construct parallel lines, what we're going to do is we're going to use the properties we discovered in the parallel lines conjecture to construct parallel lines by duplicating corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, or alternate exterior angles. So we're going to use that method, and then in your homework you're also going to use the method where you construct two perpendiculars to the same line to create a set of parallel lines. So we're going to jump over to the smartboard slide so we can use our compass, and we're going to do one example, and then we're going to do two problems from your homework that you will not be responsible for. So the first problem says draw a similar angle with sides AB and BC. Construct a segment AD parallel to BC and segment CD parallel to AB. What figure did you create? So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to take our compass and we're going to recreate this angle. So again, remember, to create an angle, you would take your compass and put the pointy end on the vertex, and take your pencil and widen your compass a little bit, and then you would make an arc. So there's that, and then we make our arc like this, and then we take our compass down to our ray that we created, and then we draw in the same arc. After we do that, we're going to take our compass back up here to our angle. We are going to take our compass and adjust it so that the width of our compass is the length of that first arc we drew. So we have that arc now. We're going to take our compass and put the pointy end on the point of intersection of the arc and the ray that we drew, and then just draw in another arc where those two arcs intersect. At that point, we have recreated the angle. Once we take our straight edge and draw another line or a ray from this vertex, or from this endpoint through that point of intersection. Now that we've recreated that angle, we need to finish doing what the problem asks us to do. It says construct a segment AD that's parallel to BC. So we want to construct something that goes through here, where we have point A, which is right here, and then D somewhere on this line. We'll say over here somewhere. Okay, now I cheated and used a computer to draw a straight line, so we want to make sure that we are not cheating. So we have our point A right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to use alternate interior or exterior or corresponding angles. So if we look at this, if we were to draw that parallel line up here, let me draw it back. We could use alternate interior angles right here. Okay, so how can we go about creating that right there? So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this angle that we just made, and we're going to duplicate it right here. So we're going to take our compass and we are going to start by taking this angle right here and our pencil, and we're going to take this and widen our compass. We're going to place our compass with the pointy edge right here, and we're going to draw in an arc. So we draw an arc in. There we go. After that, we're going to take our compass and we're going to widen it so that it is the length of our arc. So we come here and we adjust our compass a little bit, and there we go. After that, we take our compass and we're going to place the pointy end on the point where the arc and our angle intersect. So right there, we're going to draw in another arc, and what you'll see is we have now created this same angle right here on this line right here. And so if we take this and take our straight edge and we draw a line segment that connects that endpoint to that point of intersection, and I'm going to go ahead and extend this way, you'll see that we have now created two lines that are parallel to each other. You have this line up here that we will make green is now parallel to this line that we will make green. Okay. So what we did there is we used the idea of if you have corresponding angles that are congruent, that means, and you have two lines that are cut by a transversal, that means that those two lines are parallel. Okay. So now we're going to use what we know about those things, and we're going to do two problems from your homework, problems 3 and problems 4. So you're not going to do problem 3 or 4 from your homework. We're going to do those together. So the first problem says use a compass and a straight edge. Draw a line and a point not on the line. Okay, so first take your pencil and your straight edge, draw a line. Then you're going to draw a point not on that line. So we'll say right here, there's a point. Let's label that point. We'll call that point A. Okay. Now, it says construct a second line through the point that is parallel to the first line. So we want to make a line that passes through point A that's parallel to this first line that we drew by duplicating corresponding angles. So we're going to use the idea that if we draw two corresponding angles that are the same length, that or the same size, that then we now have two lines that are cut by a transversal that are parallel. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and I want you to draw a transversal. And it doesn't matter where you draw your transversal, but all you need to do is make sure that you use your straight edge and you draw a line that goes through the first line you drew and that point, like so. Now, what we're going to do is, if we think about this, we have this angle right here, and we have this angle right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create something where we have corresponding angles where, if you think about this, if we have that parallel line there, we can create this angle, that's this obtuse angle, or we could create this acute angle, both of which would be corresponding. So since we did an acute angle last time, let's take a look at the obtuse angle. So we're going to take our compass, and what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this angle right here. So again, you put the pointy end on your vertex of your angle, and then you adjust the pencil so that it's on one of the legs of the angle. And then what we're going to do is we want this angle to be up here. All right. So we're going to take this and we're going to put our pointy end of our compass on this vertex, like so. And we're going to then create an arc, like this. Okay, so there's our arc. Now, after we create our arc, oops, we forgot to create our arc down here. So let's do this. Let's create our arc. Boom. Okay. Now, after that, what we're going to do is we're going to need to take this compass and we're going to need to adjust it so that the length of this compass is the length of this arc. There we go. And after we do that, we're going to put our compass here. We will adjust this so that our pencil's over here. And Actually, it doesn't really matter. We'll draw our, oops, yes it does. We actually need to put our compass on the other pointy end, so it needs to be, or we need to put our pointy end on this intersection right here because the first time we put it on point A. So now we're going to take our compass and we're going to draw, you can see where those two arcs intersect. Okay, so now that we have those two arcs intersecting right there and this point, we're going to start at this vertex. We're going to draw a point, a line through those two intersecting arcs. I'm going to extend this just as you would if you had a ruler and a pencil. And what you see is we had this obtuse angle, and then now we created this obtuse angle. These two obtuse angles are congruent. Therefore, since these two lines are cut by a transversal and have congruent corresponding angles, then these two lines are parallel. And so that would be how you go about creating parallel lines using corresponding angles. Now, we're going to take a look at another problem. Okay, we're going to construct a parallelogram with two consecutive sides, y and z, and angle A as one of the acute angles of the parallelogram. So remember, what we need to take away from this first thing is we need to know what a definition of a parallelogram is. A parallelogram is a four-sided shape with two pairs of parallel sides. So what we're going to do, here's what we need to, here's what we're given. We're given one length of a side, we're given another length of a side, and we're given one of the angles that need to be in that parallelogram. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create this this angle. So we're going to take our compass and we're going to come over here and we're going to adjust our compass so that our compass matches up with this angle that we have. So here we go. We adjust this right there, and then we're going to take this and draw in that arc on our ray that we just drew. So we draw our arc. After that, remember, we're going to come back over here. We're going to adjust our compass so that the pointy end and the pencil are the width of the arc that we have. So there we go, almost. There we go. And then we're going to bring our compass over here. We're going to put the pointy end right here. Adjust our compass so that we're making the arc in the correct spot, and draw in the arc. So after we do that, we now have our first angle. So our first angle is going to go from this endpoint through there. Now, what we want to do is we need to go ahead and adjust, or at least make these two sides. We need to mark where our sides of our parallelogram are going to fall. So we'll make side Y, the longer side, we'll make that show up on the bottom of our parallelogram. So we adjust our compass to that length. We take our compass down to here. We will change the color of this so we know we can distinguish between those. So we'll make it green. There we go. We'll make that mark. So there's a length of side Y. Then we need to go ahead and make Z. So Z is going to be on the other side of our, or on the other side of our parallelogram. So we're going to take this. We're going to put the pointy end right here, adjust our compass, and mark where that is on that side. Now, after that, what we need to do in order to create a parallelogram is we need to create a parallel angle that passes through this point, because ideally what we're going to have is a parallel line that passes right through there that's parallel with this bottom line. So we can't just draw it in freehand like that. We need to make sure that we have a way to figure out that line is actually parallel. So we need to use the idea of corresponding angles or alternate interior angles. So what we'll do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to redraw this angle here. So we're going to draw it so that it is lining up as an alternate interior angle. So if we have this angle here, alternate, we want it on the other side of the transversal, and interior, we want it on the inside of the parallel line. So we're going to draw our angle right here. Remember, this is the length of our side, so we want this angle to be right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to draw an arc right here, boom. And then after that, we're going to come back over here. We need to adjust our compass so that it is the length of that first arc that we had. Here we go, adjusting this, boom. And then we're going to put our pointy end right here, and we're going to draw in our arc. There. Now, we have in our arc, so now we can draw a parallel line to this other line that we have by taking our straight edge and our pencil and drawing a line through those intersecting arcs and the point of our line segment. So we now have a parallel line. Now what we need to do is we need to remark off point Y, or a line segment of Y, on this top edge of our parallelogram. So we're going to need to readjust our compass so that it is the length of Y. There we go. We're going to bring it up here, and then we're going to mark it off right there. Now, what we can do is, since we have everything marked off, we can now take our straight edge and we can draw a line from that vertex of the parallelogram to that vertex of the parallelogram. And what we come up with is this parallelogram that is here, 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 and there. And that is our parallelogram that we created using the idea of alternate interior angles to create parallel sides. So on your homework, you're going to work through the remaining problems, and you're going to get practice creating shapes like this using the idea of the parallel lines conjecture to help you construct parallel lines. And if you have any questions, message me on Remind or through email.